Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today we are looking at the Thrustmaster TH8A Add-on shifter. Now, full disclosure, Thrustmaster did send me this shifter for free, but they have no say in what I'm going to say in this video. They're not reviewing it, so this is just my opinion, and my opinion is going to be different than a lot of you sim racers out there, because I'm coming from a casual racing background. I've never driven a stick shift before, and it's not something I probably would have added on to my setup. I race in PSVR2, so there's a whole different immersion involved with using a shifter when the person's hand is coming off of the wheel. So I'm coming at a whole different angle here. So casual racer, don't drive stick shift, and I'm in VR. What we're gonna look at is, do I think it's worth picking up? And the thing that got me, so let's first talk about the quality of the shifter. Now, this is not an inexpensive shifter. I believe it retails for about $200 US. So, it's a nice chunk of change. It's not just like picking up something for like 15, 20 bucks. So, you want something that's quality. Is it quality? It's a shifter. I don't drive stick shift. It feels good to me. It looks good. They say it's 90% metal, so it's not, you're not paying this money and getting this plastic thing. It is a nice sturdy piece of equipment, easy to put on my rig. It just screws right on and it just tightens up. So as far as that goes, it's really good. Now, I first thought it was only going to be an H pattern shifter, which I thought I was going to never use it, right? I thought I was never going to use it. I don't drive stick, and I'm like, an 8 pattern shifter, I'm never going to learn how to do this. So then I realized, like, after I actually put it on the side, I was like, wait a minute, this thing has a sequential shifter. You just go up, down. I'm like, oh wait, I think I can actually get the hang of this one. But would I ever use it opposed to the paddle shifters? So one thing, before I even had it, when I'm racing in VR, driving cars that have stick shifts, you see the guy's hand, and your hand, like his hands feel like your hands. So when he takes his hands off the wheel and you still feel like you're holding with 2 hands, you're like, where's my other hand? I feel like I'm holding the wheel, but I only see 1 hand because it's on the stick shift. So I was like, maybe this can boost up the immersion when my hand's off the wheel in VR, his hand's off the wheel, and now it actually will feel more, because I feel like when the car's not using paddle shifters, I feel like there's this break of immersion when the driver in the game removes his hand from the wheel. And I don't know if you guys race in PSVR2, let me know in the comments. Do you feel that break when his hand's released, but you're still using the paddle shifters? Because it's a whole nother ball game when you're in VR. Also, this is on GT7 that I'm talking about this, but the shifter obviously supports PC, and it's just plug and play with the Thrustmaster, my TGT2. Literally just plug it in. I didn't have to do anything. It just worked. So sequential shifter, up, down. And here's another thing that's a big deal about this. We know that NASCAR with iRacing is bringing a console version of the game. And if you guys know, the next gen NASCARs uses sequential shifter. So if you want to, we don't know if it's bringing VR, so we hope it's bringing VR. But if not, still, the sequential shifter is used in that game for the NASCAR next-gen cars. So that's true immersion right there, using the correct shifter. As a casual racer, would I spend $200 on this shifter? If I had money and I wanted the true best immersion, 100% I would. I personally go out, again, I had no intention of getting a shifter. I actually think for NASCAR, I think for the new NASCAR game, it might actually be awesome. I think I'd use a sequential shifter in a NASCAR game that iRacing produces for console. If it's in VR, I think I would definitely use the shifter. In GT7, because there's so many different cars that use shifters don't, I do a lot of GT3, GT4 racing for the dailies, and most of those use paddle shifters. Now, did I feel more immersed using the sequential shifter when I used the Camaro? There was definitely more of an immersion in VR. Now, if I'm not in VR, that's irrelevant, really. The immersion and using a shifter or your hands on the wheels, because most people don't drive in the cockpit view if they're not racing in VR. So it's kind of like a moot point. So this is strictly for like VR. Will it add immersion? It does add immersion if you're in VR and you're racing a car like that. $200, again, it's not cheap. So that's all I have to say. You guys that are using these shifters, and obviously if you know how to drive a manual, like the H pattern shifter is gonna, obviously you're gonna use all that stuff, and if you use clutch and all that, then and you drive all those older cars, then heck yeah, this is gonna be worth it to you. But it's a different angle from me as a casual racer who doesn't drive cars like that, who doesn't drive stick shift, who doesn't use a clutch. And you didn't need to use the clutch, you know, it was the same with as the paddle shift, as you just shift. You don't need to use the clutch with it. So I think for the sequential shift part, it's cool. I'm definitely going to use it just to have fun. But I'm not going to use it with a clutch, and I'm probably never going to learn how to use the H-padded shifter. But I appreciate the sequential shifter of it. So if you guys have this shifter or other shifters, and leave a comment below so you can help others out. I'm not the only one here. You guys all are just as important as me talking about this thing. So let me know your experience with it. Thumb up the video, subscribe, catch you on the next one. Be out of here. Peace.